Alright, good morning everybody and welcome to another Swish stream with Steven. My name is Steven, my team is Swish Gaming. If you enjoy the content that you see today, give us a follow on YouTube at The Swish Gaming YT, Twitter The Swish Gaming, Facebook The Swish Gaming, and Twitch The Swish Gaming. Alright, yesterday some of our brews did really just not pan out. I mean, the Black-White Humans deck at the end, we did get... I considered that fifth round kind of a clutch win. We finished 2-3, which was not impressive, but we had to work really hard for that last win, so we earned that 2-3. That second deck we played, though, that was a huge yikes. The 9 lives combo was not it, so... Anybody who was wondering if 9 lives Solemnity is what you wanted to be doing in this format, I think the answer is probably no, but who knows. Maybe we did get some weird matchups. The Abzan Eldrazi Displacer Brood Monitor combo with 4 main deck Skyclave Apparitions for our Solemnity combo was not ideal. We were trying to play that combo under the assumption that most decks couldn't deal with it very well, other than a couple Besejus. That deck had a lot of answers, so that was kind of a huge problem. But in any case, today we're getting back to it here with some Mono Black Devotion. And what I'm trying to do here is Leyline of the Void, I think, is really good in the format right now. I'm not sure if I should main deck 4 of these. I know it's like... I think it's obviously more likely that you have it in your opener if you play 4, but in the matchups where I don't want this, I really don't want this. So I think 3 is still going to be okay. I've got a 4th on the board. But a few cards that I kind of forgot were even legal in this format that were really unsung heroes of the black deck in Standard, and I think will be very, very good in this format actually, are Lifebane Zombie, which is a 3-1 for 3. It's an Intimidate Zombie Warrior. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a green or white creature card from it and exile that card. So this card is like exactly the kind of 3-drop we want to be playing against Naya Winota. It looks at their hand. If they have Winota, it rips it out of their hand, and then they can never block this card either. So it's just going to be a clock for the entire Cathar, and then if we kill Brutal Cathar, we get to Lifebane them again. So I think Lifebane is actually going to be awesome in this format. I maybe should have 4 in my main, but we're trying 3 in the main with a 4th in the board. One of the biggest, I think, underrated cards from the black deck in that format was Desecration Demon. What's up, dude? Nobody ever really talks about this card or remembers like how insane this card actually is. But I think this card actually lines up very, very well in the format right now for a few reasons. The format is basically littered with a bunch of combo and then a fair amount of red decks. Red decks can't kill a 6/6 other than in Modern where they got Unholy Heat for some reason. But this card is really, really hard for people to deal with. Combo decks don't put creatures into play. The combo decks that do put creatures into play are putting Sylvan Carrotids into play, so I'm happy with them sacking their guy. And this just puts a massive amount of pressure on your opponent. So it forces your opponent to have to do things. And because you're kind of a controlling deck, it's going to be hard for them to do their thing before Desecration Demon basically wrecks them. It's also very relevant that Demon, you know, can hit for like 12 damage in two attacks, and then Merchant operates like doing even amounts of damage, right? So like if you deal 12 with Demon, it's fairly possible that Merchant will be able to deal 8 off of its trigger. Demon's just very good. I'm thinking this card's going to be strong. I also am playing a couple of Kalitas, which honestly I'm not even sure how good Kalitas is going to be in this deck because we really don't have that much removal in our main deck, but I do want this card against like, you know, aggressive strategies. Then we got one Whip of Erebos, just the classic Whip, which I think will be really strong with our Demons, with our Grey Merchant. Good with Lifebane Zombie. Obviously, anything other than a black deck can't block this card, so it's just a 3-1 unblockable lifelinker in spots, which will be cool. Thanks, Rex. Yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping it'll be good. But I think I just uploaded it to Cardboard Live, so if anybody wants to check it out there, they can. Let's kind of scroll over so people can see the Grey Merchant here. So we've got our Grey Merchants, obviously, for those that don't remember what this one does. Impulse, what's up, man? How's it going? For anyone that doesn't remember what this one does, basically It's a 2/4 for 5, which is obviously kind of garbage, but when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is your devotion to black. So basically, we have a bunch of things that our opponents probably won't be getting off the table, like Ley Lines of the Void, Underworld Connections, Desecration Demons, things that are going to sit and play, Whip of Erebos, and you know, we're going to play Grey Merchant and hopefully dome our opponent for like 6 to 8 life every time, and then we're going to gain that life, which will be huge. We're doing the classic Thoughtseize Fatal Push stuff. The 2 power word kills are debatable. I'm respecting Winota. Gary without Underworld Dreams, waste of black mana. Well, we're playing Underworld Connections, so I think one of those cards is a lot better than the other, but fair enough, Tony. I just typically call people by their Twitch name in chat because it's sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I forget. But sounds good, man. Yours is unique enough where I'll remember it's you. But there are definitely some people who come in here and I forget what their Twitch handle was, you know. Anyway, though. Anything else I really wanted to talk about here? Underworld Connections was really, really, really good for us yesterday on stream, actually, in the Black-White Humans deck. It felt like the best deck in my 75, and there was 2 of them in the sideboard, so that tells you how I felt about the human deck. But, oh, I was talking about Power Word Kill. So I'm playing Power Word Kill because this is the best 2-mana removal spell against Winota. Alright, sounds good, Impulse. Thanks a lot. This is the best 2-mana removal against Winota, but if Blue-Red continues to be like the most popular deck in the format, I would rather main deck Eliminates than Power Word Kill, because Eliminate kills Narset, which is big game. So, you know, we'll kind of see where the format shifts in the next few days, but I think the Eliminates could easily be in the main deck if Winota kind of drops off in popularity. The Power Word Kills are specifically there to be an efficient answer to Winota. Other than that, there's not a ton to say about this. I've got a couple Liliana of the Last Hopes in the sideboard for the Llanowar Elves decks. Anything that puts Llanowar Elves into play, we'll be bringing 2 of these in addition to the 4th Lifebane Zombie. I've got an Erebos God of the Dead for matchups where we want to grind. When I want like a 5th Underworld Connections effect, this is kind of where it's at. It's also very, very good with a Whip of Erebos in play. And it's cool that your opponents can't gain life with this in play. So against like the Fires deck, they're not going to be able to gain life off of those Interplanar Beacons, which could be a big difference. You never know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got cards you would expect in the sideboard here. 3 Duress, a Go Blank, 4th Leyline of the Void. Should this be in the main deck? Maybe. Very plausible. But I really wanted room for all these other cards. It's possible I don't need 4 Desecration Demons, but I really want to see this card today and see how it plays. I think this card's going to be good. Other than that, though, I mean, yeah, nothing too crazy here. A couple Damping Spheres for Lotus. You let out a shout of joy. That's awesome, man. Yeah, we got to play a whip, man. I mean, we got to whip these Garys back, whip these demons back. You know what I'm talking about. And we just got to give our stuff lifelink, right? Giving Lifebane Zombie lifelink's huge. Giving Desecration Demon lifelink is ridiculous. So yeah, we're going to play a 1 of Whip and see how it goes. It's also a card that a lot of decks can't remove, so it's just going to sit there and give us some devotion. We use our life total pretty aggressively as a resource, so it's good to be able to catch back up. But yeah, we've got a couple Languishes for sweepers. We'll probably go through a few leagues with this today. I actually don't think this deck is going to be that bad. I think Leyline is going to be huge. It's possible there should be 4. It is also possible that I need more Go Blanks in the sideboard. People are using their graveyards like crazy right now. This format is... I mean, it feels like Graveyard's the format. There are just tons of graveyard-based strategies between Greasefang, between Treasure Cruise just being completely broken and unreasonable, between, you know, the deck that we ran into in the last round with Mono White yesterday, that Valamakus nonsense, which fortunately we turned to, rest in peace, turn 3 Containment Priest them, and they conceded the first game. They conceded the match on turn 3 of the first game. But Basically, there's just a lot of stuff that's using graveyards right now. So honestly, the 4th Leyline probably wouldn't even be that bad. But we'll put it in the board for now. That being said, though, I think that kind of covers everything. I've got 4 Nykthos and then a bunch of swamps, 1 Castle Locthwain, 1 Urborg because the Urborg is free. Let's rock and roll. Time for some Mono Black Devotion. What's cool about Underworld Connections, too, is since you can draw on your opponent's turn, it actually gets around Narset pretty well. Just activate it on your opponent's turn all the time. It's actually better than Phyrexian Arena in that sense, and just having the control of when to draw. Honestly, like, in some ways, it's just a better card than Phyrexian Arena, which is kind of crazy. Because Arena is one of the best, like, draw effects of all time in Black. It's just so good. But Underworld Connections having the option actually comes up, like, a lot. You do have to pay a mana, so, I mean, you do give that up. But a lot of times you have the mana to spare. It's very possible our sideboard doesn't even need the languishes. Another thing I should have brought up about Eliminate is it kills Chandra Dress to Kill, which is a relevant Planeswalker in this format. Mono Red's a very real deck. So Eliminate would be kind of cool there. Alright, let's rock. If our opponent ever shows up. Come on, opponent, please. Here we go. I would like to play. Thoughtseize, Power Word Kill, Lifebane, Khalid. I mean, I'm into this. We're keeping it. I'm going to hope my opponent is on Winota because this hand is very good against Winota. Alright, they are a creature deck. Creature deck, I mean, look at how good Lifebane, Lifebane's going to be. It hits every creature in their hand. It's kind of weird. Like, I almost want to take the Thraben Inspector, but that's definitely wrong. I should just take Thalia here, I think. Thalia is going to be really annoying. Yeah. Goodbye, Thalia. This should be a pretty good matchup for us. Just some creature pile. And a matchup where Lifebane is going to be good, so I'm going to get to bring in the 4th copy. I forgot this card was even legal. This card is actually just amazing in this format, considering one of the best decks is a white-green creature combo deck, so pretty huge. When I saw this card this morning, I was like, oh god, I hope it's legal. Okay, so they drew this. I am going to Power Word Kill the Werewolf if they play that. Just, I don't want that hitting me next turn, or having the option to hit me. I'd love to save the kill spell for when Kalidas is in play, but we don't have that luxury right now. Get out of my game. Ooh, alright, alright. Trigger, please. Ooh, an Adeline. I don't want all that. Why don't you put that into your exile zone, please? Honestly, Adeline wouldn't have been that bad because I'm about to play a Kalidas, but it's dangerous. Let's just rip it. Another thing I didn't mention about this card, like being a 3-1 Intimidator also just puts a lot of pressure on your opponent and sets up Gray Merchant really well. Why are they playing blue, I wonder? Meddling Mage? Must be Meddling Mage. There's like a real world where I actually trade this off. He didn't even offer. It's probably a good play on his part, honestly. Kalitas. So they still have Mana Confluence, another one of these. I'm going to punch. So now this is a 2-turn clock because this is a dome for 6. Feels pretty good to me. Yep, you got that. It's kind of cool that Kalitas can sack Lifebane Zombie, too. We definitely punch with this. There's honestly a world where I attack with both. It's probably not. It's probably not the right world. I can also sack Gray Merchant to Kalitas. This is gas. This is straight fire. Next turn, Kalitas is going to threaten a lot of damage. They like have to block it. This is also just, like I said, a 2-turn clock. Opponent's going to go to 6 here. And they have to take a damage off Confluence. Yeah, they're in huge trouble. Huge trouble. I'll gain 6, you take 6. Lifebane Zombie putting in work. Yep, can't shock that. Yeah, they're just in so much trouble. Like, that's their only attack. If I want, I can double block this and get a 2-2. They kill Kalitas. I gain 3 and get a 2-2. Interesting. I think I just let it hit and then attack with Kalitas because they don't have a good block. I can sack Gray. Blocking it's interesting though because just gets their best threat off the board. Gives me a zombie. The zombie doesn't do very much. I'm just going to leave Kalitas in play. Leyline of the Void, right, right on time and definitely in the matchup where I want it. Huh. I'm going to attack with just these. My opponent, like, has to double block, and then I can just sack Gray Merchant. If they double block with, like, I don't even have to sack. If they double block, I just trade and eat one of these. If they double block with this, they would, like, not even kill my Kalitas. So, yeah, let's force the block. I think I'd rather kill Lieutenant. Get a 2-2 and go. Nice. Lifebane Zombie immediately paying off. Let's bring a 4th one in. Is this a good Liliana the Last Hope matchup? It's an okay Liliana the Last Hope matchup. Certainly a good Eliminate matchup. Languish. Let's cut all these crappy ley lines. Probably cutting my Underworld Connections. It's not really the matchup where I want Underworld Connections. Maybe on the play I could see a couple. Want anything else here? Not really. The rest is go blank, and none of that seems very good. Yeah, I think I'm really happy with all the other cards in this deck, so let's run it. Oh, oops. Click play match from the... Oops. Alright. Yeah, I agree. This matchup does seem pretty reasonable as long as we don't draw like this. This hand kind of sucks, but I'm going to keep it. See, these are the kind of spots where I do kind of wish I had Underworld in my deck, just because we're going to fall behind a little bit. I'd like to be able to just put Devotion into play. I think I will bring a couple copies in when I'm on the play. It just was a little too awkward on the draw. Because they're a Coco deck, so I need to be able to keep pace with that card. The good news is I have Fatal Push, I have Languish, so we'll be in okay position. They're going to Thalia. Yep. It's fine. We got Fatal Push for that. Not a huge issue. I think I Thoughtseize them later. There's no world where I'm getting, Spell Quellered or anything, is there? That'd be pretty nuts. We're just going to push Thalia. Maybe on the end step so he can't play another one, but it really depends. Manus Rider. Elite. That's freaking annoying. I guess I didn't think about Elite Spellbinder. Maybe I was supposed to Thoughtseize this turn. Spellbinder's a big deal. It's a really annoying card here. So my Languish is now effectively uncastable. Let's kill this. That's going to happen. So. It's alright. We've got a lot of good draws in this deck. I'm not horribly sad about where we are. Lands are pretty reasonable. Most spells are good. Yeah, that's a very good spell, for sure. Yep, we're going to take their Collected Company, and they can have a Reflector Mage. It's a pretty good draw. Oh, the woes of playing Thoughtseize. Just knowing how perfect your opponent's top decking is always pretty painful. I've got to play the Kalitas. I mean, that just has to happen. Their hand was a little too good. I mean, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess they didn't have a fourth mana for that Coco. Yeah, they do. They have a Ganjo in their hand. What am I talking about? Yeah, their hand was perfect. Thraben into Thalia, into Spellbinder, into Coco is what their hand could have done had we not Thoughtseize Collected Company, and it's very, very difficult to beat that. My Languish needed to be 4 mana. Play this, take lethal just in the air alone. Alright, well. That sucked. I think I do maybe want a couple copies. I don't know if Liliana the Last Hope is actually good against them. Kills Thalia. That's about it, honestly, looking at what most of their creatures did. And then they can pressure it off the board. I kind of just want Underworld Connections in this slot. Very afraid Liliana's not going to be good enough. All the rest of it looks fine, though. Trying to think of what else Liliana actually kills. Lieutenant that they've like just played and didn't get to play another human. That's just like tough. That's probably not a great setup. I think I just want some underworld connections. Want connections anywhere else? I don't think so. I could buy trimming a merchant for a third connections, but like part of the reason of having connections in the deck is to make these better. 2's fine. I'm fine with 2 connections. Yep. It's just a really nice creature draw. Hopefully we can draw a land in the next, like, 4 draw steps, 3 draw steps. Would love, like, a Gifted Aetherborn off the top, or a Fatal Push, or a Thoughtseize. We got a lot of good draws here. Yeah, I'll take an Eliminate. Won't kill Thalia, but at least not this turn. Let's turn those auto yields off. Almost auto yielded myself to a bad situation if this is not Thalia. Okay, that's just gonna get eliminated. Sucks this can't take any green or white card. Probably would have been a little busted. It's already like a very good card, but I wish it could rip Collected Company too. And Asika's Chariot. 2 big ones that I wish it could rip out of my opponent's hand. So they've got an Elite Spellbinder. I'm not into that garbage at all. Demon. Combat. Always yield to this. And we're just going to try pressuring our opponent and killing him. See if we can make our opponent misclick. That was part of the reason I played it pre-combat, to be honest with you. Real life probably would have second mained this to just not have to announce the trigger, but on Moto we'll make them, you know, we'll make them click more. Yeah, I'm particularly afraid of Skyclave Apparition. That's the only card I'm like worried about here. Everything else should be good though. They're gonna main phase the Coco. Alright, at least that gives me information. What? Okay. That's fine. Ooh, buddy. That was a good one. We're just gonna be languishing post-combat here. They probably aren't gonna sack to the demon either. Yeah. So they're just gonna take 9. The reason I'm gonna languish is A, I don't want them drawing 3 cards. I'm happy with a 3 for 2. Let's clean all that up. And I didn't want it to get spellbound out of my hand, so. Well, how rude is that? That's a little disgusting. Yeah, go. It's fine. We'll leave up removal here. Fatal Push was kind of awkwardly timed there, but we're fine. Here comes the Collected Company. God, man. Pretty good hit. Oh, it's all fine, though. I'll let them pick with their Spellbinder what they're going to do. I'm just going to Murderous Ride the Reflector Mage and probably push this, but if they pick this, that's fine. I'd love to go Demon Demon. I guess Last Hope would have picked these off, too, so that was, like, relevant. Alright, I don't even think that was the right pick from them at all. Oh, never mind. Yeah, Last Hope just wasn't good. I'm glad I cut it. Because the way they can stack things and set things up, it's just too awkward. Okay. No reason to not play that. Demon. Really would like them to not have another Reflector Mage. That'd be wonderful. It's possible I should have just played this. Because if he Reflector Mages it, I just get to Swift End again. Because I can cast Swift End, just not the creature. Okay, that is fine. I'm A-okay with that. Alright, that's... This is gonna die. Probably should have let him go to combat and have the option to make a bad play and sack to tap this. But we're good. He's probably debating sacking his lieutenant to tap it here and get in for 8, but that'd be fine for me. Then I can punch back for 7. So move to combat. Attack for 6, play my land, play both my cards. Go. Unless they top deck amazingly here, we should be easily in the driver's seat. Yeah. Alright. 1-0. 1 second here, chat. I need to edit the... Need to turn on the MTGO bot. Didn't realize that was off. And then I can get rid of this. There we go. Much, much better. Okay, 1-0. Yeah, very good start. I'm not worried about those matchups. The creature matchups, I know we'll be able to beat those. Sure, we'll lose to them sometimes. But those, I mean, those are what we're in the business to beat. I'm curious if we beat the actual busted decks in this format. Excuse me. Like Phoenix. Or I guess any of the blue-red variations. They're all busted. Treasure Cruise is degenerate. Jeskai Ascendancy, Fires of Invention. Curious how we do against those decks. Winota. Winota's still a creature deck, so I think we'll be okay there. Okay. Hand's a little awkward. Hand's very awkward, honestly.